Welcome to my channel Forever Celeb. She built an empire out of pimples. From a small dermatology office in Southern California, Dr. Sandra Lee transformed her craft into a global phenomenon with over 6 billion views. Millions of people entrusted her not only with their skin but with their stories, their scars and vulnerabilities. Yet, amid the cameras rolling and patients waiting, Dr. Sandra Lee quietly faced the most terrifying moment of her life, a moment invisible to everyone in the room. The day things took a tragic turn. It was an ordinary workday at Skin Physicians and Surgeons in Upland, California. Cameras were set up, the crew was ready, and patients had traveled far and wide seeking relief from conditions they had lived with for years. Dr. Lee, known affectionately as Dr. Pimple Popper, was doing what she had done thousands of times, treating patients and speaking to the cameras. Then something shifted. Suddenly, she began to sweat. Not the usual exhaustion-induced sweat, but an overwhelming, unexpected wave of heat. Her body felt off, her head cloudy. Yet, as a surgeon and consummate professional, she pushed through, finishing the day. She chalked it up to a hot flash. A restless night. That evening, she drove to her parents' house, unable to settle. In an April 14 interview with People magazine, she recalled, "I just felt very restless. In one leg, I kept feeling shooting pains. Attempting to get a snack, she noticed her balance was off, her legs weren't cooperating." The next morning, the real fear arrived. She held out her left hand and watched it slowly collapse. Words stumbled out wrong. "I noticed I had a tough time articulating," she told People. "I thought, am I having a stroke?" The overlooked reality. What makes this so devastating is what most news outlets barely mention: Sandra Lee is a physician. She went through medical school, completed a residency, and has spent over 2 decades treating patients. She knows stroke signs: cold, face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, sudden confusion, and loss of balance. She had nearly all of them and still almost talked herself out of going to the hospital. A medical reality for women. This is not failure, it's a medical reality researchers have documented. Women experiencing strokes are significantly more likely to have their symptoms dismissed, including by themselves, because those symptoms often look like something else. Sudden sweating, fatigue, restlessness in a woman in her mid-50s. These are almost always explained away as menopause. Sandra Lee had the same instinct, her brain was already in crisis. A father's instinct. Her father, Dr. Soon-Sung Lee, a retired dermatologist who founded the very practice she now runs, was in the house that morning. Seeing his daughter's condition, he did not hesitate, he told her to get to the emergency room immediately. The story changes forever. The MRI left no doubt. Sandra Lee had suffered a full ischemic stroke, caused by a blood clot cutting off oxygen to millions of brain cells. Every minute untreated, 2 million brain cells die, irreversibly. "A part of my brain died," she told People. "As a physician, I couldn't deny my slurred speech and weakness, but I thought, this is a dream, right?" Then came the chilling sentence: "What essentially happened is I had a part of my brain that died." The overwhelming impact. For most, hearing a doctor describe their own stroke in this way is overwhelming. For Sandra Lee, whose career depends on steady hands, sharp eyes, and articulate speech, it was devastating. The stroke attacked everything at once. Risk factors and rising trends. She openly acknowledged her risk factors: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, chronic stress, none under control at the time. Her neurologist, Dr. Kim Tenser, noted a 15% rise in strokes among 45 to 64-year-olds, right where Sandra fell. This is not bad luck, it's a story about high-performing professionals, especially women, pushing their bodies beyond warning signs and paying the price. A career paused. Filming on Season 2 of Dr. Pimple Popper, breaking out halted immediately. 20 planned episodes, a new Lifetime show, a second chance after TLC ended. The momentum stopped cold on a November morning because a doctor who spent her career helping others forgot to care for herself. The man with the borrowed book. To understand what Sandra Lee stood to lose, we must go back to a rural clinic in Malaysia in the late 1960s. There, a young doctor named Sandra Lee, completely out of his depth, managed by flipping through a small dermatology book left behind by a US medical team. His interest grew until he decided to become a dermatologist. An immigrant family's journey. Sandra and his wife Irene emigrated to the US in 1969. Sandra was born a year later in Queens, New York. The family moved to Southern California when she was 5, where her father opened the very practice she now runs. Raised surrounded by dermatology. Textbooks and medical photographs that would horrify most children were her everyday environment. But Sandra was fascinated, not frightened. She graduated from UCLA with a biology degree, attended medical school in Philadelphia, and met her future husband, Jeffrey Rebaish, on orientation day. Jeff changed his focus to dermatology to follow her. They married in 2000 and built a life together. 959, overcoming early setbacks. But after her 4th year of medical school, Sandra didn't match into dermatology, the specialty her father had chosen. She described feeling like she was in a dream, considering emergency medicine briefly before finally matching at Southern Illinois University. She completed a fellowship with renowned laser surgeon Dr. Richard Fitzpatrick and returned to California to take over her father's practice. Her father's reaction was human. Patients now said, "You're Dr. Sandra Lee's daughter, not Dr. Sandra Lee's daughter." Underscore 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 6 billion views and a borrowed idea. In October 2010, Sandra launched a YouTube channel. The first video was dry and professional, barely viewed. For 4 years, it was essentially an ad for her practice. Then in 2014, a blackhead extraction posted on Instagram went viral. Inspired by a hairstylist's millions of views, she asked herself, "Could I do this?" Dermatology is visual. She began posting regularly. Viewers couldn't look away. By 2015, she uploaded videos as Dr. Pimple Popper. One extraction video has over 75 million views. Her model: patients receive discounted or free treatment in exchange for filming permission. Everyone leaves satisfied. Her fans, Popaholics, grew into a community of millions. By 2018, TLC launched Dr. Pimple Popper, premiering to top ratings and running 9 seasons with 111 episodes. She won the Critics' Choice Real TV Award for Female Star of the Year 3 straight times. She launched SLMD Skincare, expanded to over 1,600 Target stores. She wrote a book, appeared on late-night TV. At peak, her YouTube generated nearly $100,000 monthly. When TLC ended the show in 2023, she moved to Lifetime with Dr. Pimple Popper. Breaking out, adding mentorship and showing her personal life on camera for the first time. Season 1 aired April 2025, Season 2 was greenlit with 20 episodes. Her husband Jeffrey became an executive producer. The machine was running faster than ever. And that was exactly the problem. Underscore 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 underscore. Her father's reaction was human. patients now said, "You're Dr. Sandra Lee's daughter, not Dr. Soon Lee's daughter." Underscore 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 6 billion views and a borrowed idea. In October 2010, Sandra launched a YouTube channel. The first video was dry and professional, barely viewed. For 4 years, it was essentially an ad for her practice. Then in 2014, a blackhead extraction posted on Instagram went viral. Inspired by a hairstylist's millions of views, she asked herself, "Could I do this?" Dermatology is visual. She began posting regularly. Viewers couldn't look away. By 2015, she uploaded videos as Dr. Pimple Popper. One extraction video has over 75 million views. Her model: patients receive discounted or free treatment in exchange for filming permission. Everyone leaves satisfied. Her fans, Popaholics, grew into a community of millions. By 2018, TLC launched Dr. Pimple Popper, premiering to top ratings and running 9 seasons with 111 episodes. She won the Critics' Choice Real TV Award for Female Star of the Year 3 straight times. She launched SLMD Skincare, expanded to over 1,600 Target stores. She wrote a book, appeared on late-night TV. At peak, her YouTube generated nearly $100,000 monthly. When TLC ended the show in 2023, she moved to Lifetime with Dr. Pimple Popper. Breaking out, adding mentorship and showing her personal life on camera for the first time. Season 1 aired April 2025, Season 2 was greenlit with 20 episodes. Her husband Jeffrey became an executive producer. The machine was running faster than ever. And that was exactly the problem. Underscore 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 underscore. Stroke halts everything. For 2 months, Sandra Lee did not operate or film. She barely spoke publicly. From November 2025 through January 2026, she underwent intensive physical and occupational therapy. She rebuilt basic functions: balance, walking, left-hand grip strength. For Sandra Lee, grip weakness wasn't just inconvenient, it threatened her surgical career. Dermatology requires fine motor skills, steady hands, precision. "I don't like not having total control of my left hand," she said. "If I'm not at my best, it's scary." Her speech changed too, subtly but noticeably. "I notice I don't speak exactly as I used to. I'm embarrassed sometimes." For a woman who spoke to millions on camera, that self-consciousness was new and real. Returning to the set. In January 2026, she returned to the set, the same place where her brain started dying. The cameras, the operating room, the patients. "It was very scary," she said. "There's a lot of PTSD because it happened while filming." Stroke doesn't disappear cleanly. Dead brain cells don't come back. For the first time, Sandra Lee faced something she could not fix. She had to live with it. And in living with it, she revealed a side no 6 billion viewers had ever seen. Breaking the silence. Sandra could have kept her stroke private. The event happened in November 2025. She returned to work in January 2026. Episodes were filmed, patients treated. No one outside her circle knew. She could have let Season 2 air and let viewers draw conclusions. Instead, she chose People magazine for an exclusive interview, published April 14, 2026, photographed at her Los Angeles home. In it, she explained why going public was so challenging. In Asian cultures, they often don't tell people they've had a stroke, it's seen as weakness. This was the most important, yet least noticed, part. Sandra Lee is Chinese American. Her father from Singapore, mother from Malaysia. Raised in a culture valuing stoicism, privacy, and treating vulnerability as failure. The immigrant drive pushing her parents to America, pushing her through med school, building the practice, brand, and shows, ran against the openness she chose. Underscore 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 underscore. Courage to speak out. She chose to break the silence because she wants others to recognize symptoms and seek care. Her disclosure preceded Season 2's premiere on Lifetime by 6 days, controlling the narrative. Season 2 includes footage of her stroke and recovery. By speaking first, she framed the story, chose the language, and made her darkest moment a conversation, not a spectacle. Underscore 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 underscore. A blessing in disguise. When Sandra calls her stroke a blessing in disguise, she does so plainly, without rehearsed gratitude. It reminds you to take better care of yourself. For years, Sandra ran at full speed, surgical practice, YouTube, 9 TV seasons. She outran the bill, treating warning signs as manageable later. The stroke ended that calculus. 2 months of therapy. Daily blood thinners. Nightly exercises. Regular health monitoring. A slower pace, forced, not chosen. Underscore 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 underscore. Precious clarity. In slowing down, she found clarity. It makes you realize how precious life is. She's back on screen. Season 2 of Dr. Pimple Popper, Breaking Out airs April 20, 2026, 20 new episodes. Her hands work. Her voice returns. Her neurologist says symptoms mostly resolved. Externally, she's recovered. The weight of her story. But this story's full weight no headline captures. Her father discovered dermatology from a borrowed book behind a privacy curtain in a Malaysian jungle. He emigrated to America with almost nothing. Built a practice from nothing. Raised a daughter inside it who became the most watched dermatologist in history. Decades later, that father looked at his daughter and saw the stroke etched across her face and body, and sent her to the hospital in time. Sandra Lee did not just survive a stroke. She survived the moment when everything she had been given, built, and risked collided on a single November morning. She returned to where it happened. Turned the cameras back on. And let the world see what that really looked like. Underscore 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 underscore. Not almost losing everything. This is not a story about almost losing everything. It's the story of a woman who discovered what everything actually means. Underscore 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 underscore. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell us what Sandra Lee's story means to you. Underscore 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 underscore. Would you like me to expand any sections further or tailor the tone for a specific audience?